Shalom, everybody, and welcome, world. We are headed to Egypt this morning. You have tuned in to ReligionWinked TV, where my spiritual ears stay. And this edition of the Morning Read, episode 328, where we're headed off to Egypt. And with that being said, some people like to get up and read people to filth. Well, we like to get up and read people to life. That's life more abundantly. And we know Christ, the Messiah, the one who was able to hide out in Egypt and not be recognized because of his old swaddling clothing. That would be his birth clothing, his birthday suit clothing. And Pharaoh not recognize the baby hiding out down there. That Messiah is the way, the truth, and the life. Okay, Christians? According to John chapter 10, verse 7 through 18, and John chapter 14, verse 6. He is the way, the truth, and the life. Let's not get it twisted. Also, we know, is this where I say you're watching ReligionWinked TV and my spiritual ears stay? It's the next one. So I got about 30 to 40 seconds. Now, disclaimer, we know some people can't physically see, spiritually can't see or perceive, physically hear or comprehend what thus saith the Lord. Mad at the Bible, mad at church, mad at people in general, mad at God. Just walked away from righteousness for whatever reason. Lost souls, demonic souls, you and I. And especially old Satan, whoever the hell that adversary may be, they need this word. They need to know the truth. Now you're watching ReligionWinked TV, and my spiritual ears stay. Shalom, world, and welcome to Egypt. I was going to get on here and be like, hello, I like the book of flight to Air Egypt. Ma'am, we're sorry. If you're black, unvaccinated, and got dreads in your hair, we're not letting you in the country. Oh, really? Are you a prophet of God? Are you anointed? Because that's exactly who I be. Well, we're not letting you in the country. We're not letting people in. Well, what are you letting out? And how would you feel if I judge you? You're sounding like a white lady in Egypt. Isn't that an oxymoron? And I was going to get on here and clown with y'all, but instead I want to really take y'all to Egypt and just give you an overview. And I could be silly. I could be crazy. Ish, if you really want to know it. And bipolar schizophrenia in the spirit. Oh, I goes there. Let me tell you. The old devil, the serpent, the dragon, the beast, Satan, the adversary, the enmity, the enemy of God. Hate to see my eyes open up every day. Did you thank God for that? That's a beautiful thing when you know there's some people in the world that don't want you to open up your eyes. Come on now. That's a word for somebody. Anyway, thanks be to God. Now, going to Egypt, y'all. Welcome to the morning read. Shalom, everybody. Don't forget your Bibles nor your teacups. Let me go ahead. Welcome to anybody in the chat. I'm on a different screen right now, although you can see me. I'm about to share this to Facebook, and then we'll get started, okay? So, basically, y'all, Egypt is mentioned in the Bible. Egypt is mentioned in Wikipedia. Christianity is mentioned in the world. Christianity is mentioned in Wikipedia in reference to Egypt. And I think that's where most Hotep, Mayeb, conscious community people that's down with the ancestors of Israel, the pharaohs and all that stuff, Shout out to them. I disrespect nobody's faith or belief. I be like, thank God you believe, because if it's like Christianity say, when the rapture do come, at least there's less to gather. You might not believing in the right person. Maybe none of us are, but at least we're all believing in something. So if there is a time where we have to believe in one and bow to one, whichever one that may be, we're all kind of conditioned in believing and trained in obedience in some way, especially of the Old Testament. God had a lot of obedience going on in the first 5 books of the Bible, which we're going to get to explore right through until March 2nd. And then you have to pick up the morning read episode like 1 in order to go through, because we started Deuteronomy chapter 5, I believe, and we have worked our way all the way through the end of Revelations. Now we're in Genesis, and we will be wrapping that up in about 2 to 3 hours, because I have 2 small chapters, 49 and 50. I'm going to come right back on. I can either pre-record it and upload it or just come back live, because it is different content, even though we're going to be down in Egypt, because in 46, 47, 48, Jacob said, baby, get everything ready. Saddle the asses and let's go. My son Joseph, baby, I've been waiting to see him 20 years and looking at his other sons like, what you put me through in my old age. I'm going to end up dying in the land called Goshen, I do believe, somewhere down there where I don't even know. I'm not even from, but I know one thing. I'm going to see my son Jacob, get to meet the Pharaoh of that time, and go on to be a great nation. And I think this is where the Egyptians, when it comes to Christianity, when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites, when I told y'all yesterday that it was an abomination unto the Egyptians to be with a Hebrew Israelite. So how did Moses, well, when Moses come on the scene, starting tomorrow, yeah, we get into the book of Exodus, but Joseph being a Hebrew, well known, favor of God, I'm trying to tell you, even BCE, that's before Christ's era, there was Egypt, there was the Bible, there was nothing of Christianity at this specific time. That is what I want the Christians to understand. And if you are in the world trying to follow what the hell happened, I might be able to shed some light on you this morning, because when God told Jacob, don't be afraid to go to Egypt, because I'm going to make you a great nation, even the Egyptians said, well, who the hell do God think he is? Hold on, y'all. Let me go ahead and share this, because y'all know I tell this story over here the way I believe Spirit gives it to me. Y'all been telling it for thousands of years the way Spirit gave you, and where has it moved us? I'm moving you into Egypt because there's a lot of great wonders. Egypt is a very valuable place in history, especially when it comes to the Israelites, because old Jacob go down there, old Joseph was there, old Moses was there, old baby Jesus, who hid amongst the Pharaoh and couldn't be identified, was there. Are you with me, people? If not, it's probably because I done clicked off a damn screen or something. Because I got like 3 windows open. The Bible done fell, Lord. The microphone. I was sitting here contemplating, but I'm one behind. I'm making this up from yesterday, because yesterday I woke up with no water, y'all. The whole building. It's 3 apartments in this building. All 3 of us had no water. But guess where they had to come to fix the situation? And by the time they did, I was like, I done put in 8 hours today trying to thaw this damn water out with the heater and all this, how the landlord and the maintenance man and people run. I said, you know what? I put my 8 hours in. It just didn't include you guys. And I do apologize, because I was going to record it. and show y'all, look, man, I don't got no water. And my nephew, he was on Facebook talking about he woke up with frozen pipes. And it's just one of those things, y'all. Thank God for bottled water, right? Now, let me go ahead and share this and then we'll get into it. I was supposed to do that like 10 minutes ago. But like I said, hey, what the hell are you doing? Hopefully you should be the early bird gets the word. I've been telling y'all that for you. I'm gonna put that on the t-shirt. I'm gonna put a dove. The early bird gets the word. Y'all better go to teesprings.com, aka spring.com, and get some of them little cute sayings over there by the grace of God. All right, so we're going to Egypt. Try to encourage people to come. We are going to Egypt. All right, hold on. 328. We're going. Now, the thing I love about Egypt is, like I said, it's mentioned in the Bible. I'm fascinated, good, bad, or indifferent, truth or lies, with anything that's mentioned in this Bible, because I've been telling y'all, it's the Bible that cursed the world, that just got this world going crazy. Not the word of God, not the people thereof, the book and how it was presented to Africa. I heard a man say, shout out to Truth Show, Keisha. Go check her videos. She did it. She did a video not too long ago on Egypt. And basically the guy in there was saying, like, when Africa was running everything, had spirituality, different gods, gods of this, that, and the third. But then when the white man, Europeans, came in, they came in with the Bible, constructed. And by the time they was seduced with this Bible and delusionalized, that's what Paul said, bewitched. Who bewitched you? These Europeans of the dang on world, and they still doing it from the White House. They're still doing it from the Vatican. They're still doing it from Buckingham Palace. Delusional. Y'all let this wickedness seated in high places run you, rule you, fear you, kill you, and you don't stand up to it. Well, baby, this is where the rubber meets the road. Christianity, Egyptians, the the children of Israel, and you and I, okay? To make some sense of this. Because when they woke up from being bewitched, because even down in Egypt, when God fought and Pharaoh and Ramesses and Moses, and the staff turned to the snake and the blood turned to the water and the parted seas, we're going to get all into all of that. They never called on their God Ra. Pharaoh said, get the sorcerers and the men that could work their witchcraft. So it was prevalent at that time. And for 70 people to eventually be present of the Israelites at Egypt at this point in time, we're going to start reading in chapter 46 of the book of Genesis. It's crazy how they come out millions and billions damn near strong, thick, deep. Then they went in, but yet seduced of the mind when they get there to somehow end up being a slave eventually for 430 plus some odd years. Indicative and synonymous to what the descendants of these same people have went to and gone through in America. The house of bondage. Now, y'all, I'm not picking on Egypt. I'm telling a story to get you to think about how important Egypt is, whether you believe in God, Yahweh, or Israelite, or whether you're just an Egyptian of Ham's descendant, whom Nimrod turned many people away from God at that point in time. Let's keep it real. The Tower of Babel. Africa consists of Israel, Saudi Arabia, and any other landmass on the continent of Africa. There's no Middle East there. Since when do we have North, South, West, Middle East, East? Who? Why? It's not on any other what do you call them things? Directional compasses. So why do we play that game when it comes to Israel, Saudi Arabia, where most of the Ishmaelites and some of the Israelites made their home? People wasn't trying to go to in Africa. Some went east of Africa. Some went south of Africa. Some tribes went northwest of Africa. Some went through the Bering Strait and came over here to America way before Christopher Columbus. So it's an important key. It's valuable. Now let me again. I think we're good. Let me just hit that. Hold on, guys. And I'll get right into the teaching. Good morning to anybody in the chat. God bless you. Welcome. And have a good God, great day. Okay. Now, Egypt. Officially, the Arab Republic of Egypt is a transcontinental country spanning the northeast corner of Africa and the Sinai Peninsula of Western Asia. It is bordered by the Mediterranean Sea to the north, the Gaza Strip, which Ishmael is supposed to have possession of, okay? That's Palestine. And Israel to the northeast. The Red Sea to the east, Sudan to the south, and Libya to the west. So it goes on to tell you that basically you can find the Great Sphinx, the Giza necropolis, you can find Memphis, Thebes, Kamak, Valley of the Kings. There's a lot of great things coming out of Egypt, trust me. And let me see one thing. Where do the Orishas come from? Is it Egypt or just Africa? Orishas origination. Because I'm fascinated with them. Some are not in the Bible, I don't believe, but I know the Queen of Heaven is, and I believe she's from Egypt. I believe she's a Nana. I believe she's Estar, and I'm gonna tell you why. There, there's a lot. Okay. There's a lot of different religions or faiths or stories told compiled in this Bible. Again, given by the white man for the most part, confusing the masses. Egypt and Maya Hotep believers believe that when white people went down into Africa, they came out with all the resources, wealth, wisdom, power, and control. We come up with the Bible, hope, faith, believing in a white man named Jesus to come save us when white people are stripping everything from us. I added that last verse in there, okay? But I'm just saying. So, yeah. Basically, the Orishas are, let's just say, from Africa, Nigeria, and what is that? Benin. So yeah, tribes of Nigeria is still Africa. People went fleeing, not wanting to be a Christian because that was the decree. Now there's reports that says that at some point in time, Egypt got with some of the Muslims, got with some of the Ishmaelites, got with some of Lot's people, got with some of the Edomites, and came against the Israelites. With some other people, Spain, Portugal, there was Ferdinand. There was a lot of people working against God and the children of Israel at that particular time. More so 1500s, 1400s, 1500s, lining up this story they told about this transatlantic slave. Now, if they can lie about Christianity, Dane Calloway will tell you they lied about the transatlantic slave trade. I listened to a video, and there is some points in it, and it does make sense. I do believe America was barren at one point in time. And when the seeds happened of the Israelites, I believe the tribe of Gad, who was more Indian, we're all Indian, Aboriginal, indigenous people, Africans. And they know this. But I believe Gad was more of that. And y'all know how we are over here in America and the descendants thereof, and how the $5 Indians tried to masquerade the original sharecroppers and people who were here. And it is history. It's proven. But I believe a lot of people came through the Bering Straits. Some stopped. If you go over to Spain and Portugal, there's the Gadanites. They are part of the tribe of Gad. Some of them kept going and came over through the Bering Straits, creating the Appalachian Trails here in America, setting up all the way down to Louisiana, all the way out to the west. And then we all know Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. And that feather he stuck in his hat was the turkey y'all bake every Thanksgiving, because it was rounding up our people of the Israelites who was settled here way before the Pilgrims. But once the Pilgrims came and they saw how sweet that corn was, they saw how sweet that corn was, Black Friday became a place and time where they basically was putting people on the chopping block to see who can get sold off for the most money. That's why you get the savings in return, even though it's really not a savings and it shouldn't be a holiday or something in your spirit that you want to worship, because now you know the truth. It's history. There's receipts to back everything up. Matter of fact, we have talked about these things on this channel. When all the holidays come around, I try to educate you guys and give you insight on why maybe you shouldn't be worshiping these holidays. I don't tell you not to. I suggest and advise to you that this is, if you say you believe in God, then this is what we should be trying to do to the best of our faith's ability. So, Nigeria. Now, let's go ahead. And basically, Egypt, let's see if I can see dates back. So Egypt was an early and important center of Christianity, but was largely Islamized, people of the Islamic faith, in the 7th century, and remains a predominantly Muslim country, albeit with a significant Christian minority, because the pharaohs, the kings of that time, people wanted to masquerade their faith in Christianity to seduce and make most of the people who didn't believe in Christianity to become Christians. And then once they got most of the people, they knew they were going to round up and put in captivity allegedly and cause a mass amount of slavery to go on unto today. They're like, let me pretend, like Paul. Paul taught people how to pretend to be a Christian to win people into this faith. And then, like the Catholics, they go on worshiping Egypt because they're in cahoots with one another. The Queen worships the Talmud. The Vatican worships the Talmud. And the Talmud is of the Egyptian faith, not Christianity. But they'll mention Egypt in the Bible to make you think that they have a connection to Christianity. When in all, like most people Christianity, they sell out God's people to go on and have fame and success in the world and be noted as kings and queens. And let me tell you something. There's some truth to what we're reading. Listen. It has a significant Christian minority now. But back when baby, when it was about to round everybody up for this slavery, well, these people just won't fall in line. We gotta make them think Egypt. We gotta make them think their relative Ham has come to the blood of Jesus. And we know Pharaoh that we're about to read now, and Pharaoh BCE, ADE, anytime EEE, is not going to submit and succumb to an entity named Jesus, what we see and know of Christianity. When he himself had a problem with his brother Shem descendants, the Israelites. Egypt is Ham, Israelites is Shem, family. And everybody don't get along, that's true, but this is history and it's factual. But when you got the European people coming in and say, oh, we'll give you this and we'll give you that, and Egypt will go on to be known for this, that, and the third, not knowing the Egypt, and we're going to throw the Queen of Heaven, and we're going to throw Egypt, and we're going to throw the fact that Jacob and his family, Joseph, Moses, everybody got a chance to rule and reign in Egypt. Make some kind of connection, and it could be very well true. And if it is, again, Egypt plays a very important role in the Israelites' history, because baby Jesus was said to go down into Egypt, hiding from Herod. This is 3 times now we see the Israelites amongst the Egyptians, and unless Joseph wasn't revealed in church as a Hebrew. If that man didn't kill a Hebrew and Moses never witnessed it and killed the Egyptian, if Herod never wanted to kill every baby under 2 years old and put out a decree, baby Jesus went down into Egypt and hid. His parents allegedly took him down there. There's no way a European baby can hide out in Egypt, because Egypt at that time was all black. That's why I say, Israelites, relax. You know your ancestors was of the same, maybe not the same tongue, maybe not the same look, maybe not the same skin complexion, or but there was, because God, remember, we walked with our God, they walked with their God. So our culture started shaping up a little differently, but we're still family. Sisters can host a function, and you'd be like, dang, you did this just like your sister. That's because we're related, but we definitely did it differently. Egypt and the Israelites. But you had one of them gang up and come against the other one. Clearly. Let's talk about it. Let's fix it. Let's mend. Let's break the generational curses. What happened then doesn't need to keep happening. So Egypt is very vital to the Israelites for so many reasons. Now I'm going to go ahead and we are going to get to reading, y'all. And basically, welcome to the Morning Read, episode 328. How many do we have left to go? Somebody trying to get to 365. How much do we have left to go, right? So, welcome to Egypt. And if chapter 46, verse 1, let's read. So, good morning, everybody. Now, I tried to line this up where we're all together. It's a family. Listen, for 2022, let's get acquainted, okay? Every time I say, don't call me your mom, your sister, your aunt, your this, your spiritual leader, I lose subscribers. Like, I'm trying to develop your character where all you need is the word of God and your personal relationship with God. And then fellowshipping with other people becomes so much sweeter when you know you're on one accord. It just like in the natural, if somebody's needy, you cut them off. Spiritually, it's okay to look to somebody for your salvation, but it's okay to be your salvation and look for yourself some dang on time too. Because God is in you. This all starts within, okay? I wish it was some miraculous thing that happened outside of me when I first started seeking God. but the transformation took place within. Gave me a feeling something externally could never do. And when you get that feeling and that desire and that amount of courage and comfort and confidence in you, you'll begin to get up and start reading this word to other people as well. Reading it to me, coming in saying, hey, I read such and such. Hey, I'm on the same page. Hey, I got my Bible in my teacup, putting ears in the chat. But until then, I know it's not falling on deaf ears. Your heart is hardened through YouTube and entities that's against this kind of teaching and revelation and knowledge. So I don't fault you. And don't hold anything against me either when I get on here talking about things that don't float your boat or tickle your fancy, because I'm not here to do that. I'm here to encourage you. Iron's supposed to sharpen iron. And if you're not iron, let someone know. I have spiritual surveys that you can take. I have questionnaires, quizzes, and things of that nature to see where you are spiritually. So you'll know, and then people will begin to lead you in the right direction, at least the Spirit of God, and guide you. So, verse 46, chapter 1, let's read. We're going to Egypt, y'all. And we're going to Egypt to be a very great nation. And 46:1 says, and Israel, Jacob, took unto his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto God and his father Isaac. It didn't say Abraham. He offered to God and Isaac. And sometimes you got to know where you offer your praises to and who and at what point in time. Now, overall, God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but he offered it to God and to Isaac. 2, and God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, here I am. Right? And he really did. I just sung it to you. And 3 says, and he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt. Fear not to go down into Egypt. Don't be afraid to go to Egypt. There's nothing wrong with Egypt. Egypt is mentioned in the Bible. The Israelites ruled Egypt at one time through favor of God and the pharaohs at that time. Then there became a problem, and I think in chapter 46, as we're reading, 47, 48, 49, and 50, we're going to get a more clear idea of how Jacob and at least 70 people, Joseph is there. He totals 70, as we're going to read in chapter 46. Second to command of Pharaoh, Joseph was playing a lot of games with his brother. End up staying in a land called Goshen, ruling. God's about to tell Jacob, don't be afraid to go down there, because I'm going to make you a great nation. Somehow the story is told we're slaves, our ancestors, Jacob and all these people. I'm going to tell you something. When Pharaoh looked up, it was more Israelites in captivity in Egypt than it was Egyptians themselves. They were waxing strong. They were multiplying. But somehow they end up 430 years in Egypt. And not because they really wanted to be. That's really when the indentured servitude, slaves, and things of that nature. Go back to the last read. Did not one of the brothers say to Joseph, he said, yo, I will be your slave. Point blank, period. Don't let Benjamin stay here. I'll be your slave. I'll stay here. Keep me in captivity. Like, and y'all say Kanye was crazy when he say some people are choosing, even himself. I told you he have chose to stay in that plantation of wickedness and control and deceit and ungodly living. That's pretty much what all plantations are. And it's taught to people by the most ungodliest people in the world. But at some point in time, Pharaoh told them yesterday, oh, go get your dad. Go get your family. I am going to celebrate them. And I told you, Joseph played some dangerous games being second in command. He knew the brothers was his when they came down the first time to Egypt during the famine, right? But he like, oh, I know who they are. They don't know who I am. So let me go ahead and play this game. Go get your brother that's home. Go get your father. Go do this. And baby, you don't think word was getting back to Pharaoh that the second in command is playing with Hebrew Israelites when one, I shouldn't even be trusting you. I read to y'all in the Bible that it said it was an abomination to the Egyptians to be with a Hebrew Israelite. They just wasn't sitting at the same table breaking bread. They were not on one accord, family or not. They just wasn't vibing and feeling each other at one point in time. God told Moses coming down the line, don't marry Zipporah, an Egyptian woman. God told a lot of these people, go to your father house, your mother house. Don't go to Canaan. Don't go here. Don't go there. And now we have Israelites sojourning down into Egypt. God says to Israel, to Jacob in 3, and he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. Who don't, baby, let call the airlines, 1-800 Air Egypt, right? Lead it to y'all, so it's the right amount of numbers. But don't tell them I told you to call. And I don't even know if that's the right number. I think I just made it up. But anyway, book the flight, honey. Let's go to Egypt so we could be a great nation there. And I believe because God told Jacob this, that the rest of the world, even Egypt, went crazy. I honestly believe that, y'all. I believe that God telling Jacob, when you go down to Egypt, I'm going to make you a great nation, is what set the Europeans, some Egypts, Edomites, Lot, and everybody else off their rockers against the Israelites, against Jacob and his 12. So let's see how we go. I'm going to be a great nation, y'all. I am going, thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for listening on the replay. Whatever, guys, I appreciate it. It may not be for this wicked and perverse generation, but honey, I know it's for me and I know it's for you. I know we could benefit off of what we learn over here on this channel. So I thank you for really tuning in. And I really do appreciate you guys. And as far as being your family, I'm still 4 years in getting acquainted with some people. And it's like it's an expectation of you're supposed to pay attention to me. You're supposed to honor me. And I told you, I've seen a lot of good friendships go bad because they got ignored in the chat or this, that, and the third. And it's really, everybody needs to work on their emotions. Everybody need to stop being easily offended. Everybody need to relax and stop expecting so much of everybody else and expecting so little of themselves. Now that's the way we want to influence you over here. Expect more of you to show up in any situation you got going on. And then when you come to the table, you're not ignorant. Nobody can shame you. You done studied. You done, learn how to dress or whatever it is we need to do to fit in whatever circle we're going to. You done adapted to that situation or climate or atmosphere, surroundings. That's basically it. Be a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up out again. Is he going to tell them when? Is he going to let them know that there's going to be a span of 430 years? Is God going to tell old Israel that he's going to die down in Egypt before he become this great nation, or after he becomes this great nation? Because he can't become a great nation until before, he has to be a great nation before he died. No, a lot of people like Biggie and Tupac, many people have gone on to be great nations and legacies in this world after their death. And this is what the Israelites, this story is being told about them, but nobody profits off the proceeds from this Bible. It should be a class action lawsuit going against whoever name is published on any translation of the Bible, because rightfully so, the story, did they get the permission of the Israelites to publish it? And how do they know it better than the Israelites? Unless they stole it from the people it belonged to and added their own interpretation of it. So now he says, and Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. He's saying, and your son will see you. So yes, your son will see you. But still, we got to know how long he's going to be down there and why. 5, and Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives, in the wagons which Pharaoh had set to carry him. Kind of reminds me, I have this little horse and wagon thing for a reason, child. But one side of it is broke. It has to be propped up. I'm going to fix it. But this is a horse and wagon. Yes, I miss nostalgia. It's heavy as heck. It's very, very nice. And they got the 2 horses. Oh, Lord. Yeah, horse and wagon, child. How our ancestors, the Indians, traveled here in America originally. And, oh, guys, there's so many movies coming out about black westerns and how black people used to basically just be the heroes. Okay, so now let me go get this, guys. Hold on 1 second. All right, so he's getting the little ones. He's putting everybody in the wagon, which Pharaoh has sent to carry them. Now, Pharaoh sends this wagon, talking about sweetening the pot, right? Making somebody feel comfortable, welcome, like, come on down. But I bet you Pharaoh got something up his sleeve. Especially if he feel like he's been played by Joseph, who knows that his brothers and all of them was present but never said anything to Pharaoh, and then somehow come up with this scheme to get Jacob to come down. Who, Lord. And 6 says, and they took their cattle and their goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him. Now listen, it's going to say about 66, but then we're going to hear 70, so let's see. 8 says, 7 says, his sons and his sons' sons, and with him his daughters and his daughters' daughter, his sons, sons, daughters, and all his seed brought he with him unto Egypt. He brought everybody. And these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt: Jacob and his sons, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. 9. And the sons of Reuben, Hanak and Phalu, and Hezron and Carmi. 10. Carmi. It's with an I. And the 10, and the sons of Simeon, Jumiel, and Jamin, and Ohad, and Jashin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanitish woman. 11, and the sons of Levi. And again, that's mixing Canaanites are not Israelites. Unfortunately, that's how you keep your bloodline pure. I don't know what it means, but yes, it sounds ancestral. But the queen has been doing it, or has she, Prince Andrew? Lord have mercy. And that ain't funny, but they're wicked people. Shine light on that. Expose them. So, a Canaanitish woman, and Levi in verse 11 has Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. 11, and the sons of Judah. Check this out and catch it on spirit. Onan, and Shelah, and Pharez, and Zara. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. Remember, I told you it was Pharez who, out of Judah, with his dead son Er's wife Tamar, and this is the lineage where Christ comes out of. But Pharez have 2 sons, so be careful when you're talking about the lineage of Christ, because Pharez have 2 sons here, Hezron and Hamul, in verse 12 of 46 in the book of Genesis. And out of one of those 2 sons sprang the tribe of Judah, sprang the Messiah, sprang the Christ, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. That's it right there. Verse 13 goes on and saying, the sons of Issachar, Tola, Puvah, and Job, and Shimron. Think it's the Job that shows up eventually? I'm not really sure. We'll have to read and see. I'm not sure. It's spelled the same way. And Shimron, 14, and the sons of Zebulun. But when we get to the book of Job, we already been there. It should tell you who his parents are, or what lineage he comes from. So 14 says, and the sons of Zebulun, Sered, Elon, and Jaliel. 15, these be the sons of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob in Pandanaram, with his daughter Dinah, and all the souls of his sons and his daughters were 30 and 3. Meaning everybody that came along with this little tribe right here, 30 and 3. Now he goes on, and the sons of Gad, Zipion, and Haggai, and Shunai, and Esbon, and Eri, and Arodai, and Areli. 17, and the sons of Asher, Jimnah, and Ishua. It's 2 names I'm going to read. And I said, Lord, are they twins? I was cracking up in here last night, because I had just kind of glanced over chapter 46. Ishua, and Isuai, and Beriah, and Sarai, their sister, and the sons of Beriah, and Herbai, and Melchiel. 18, these are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bare unto Jacob, even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph, and Benjamin. And unto Joseph, in verse 20, in the land of Egypt, Joseph has his children. All right, so Egypt plays a very important role. We have some ancestors born in Egypt. You cannot deny that. We got ancestors born in Egypt. You cannot deny it. Yep, and it goes on to say, Joseph, children's, Ephraim and Manasseh, Hebrew Israelites. Well, are they? Because Anasak Is she Israelite or is she Egyptian? She's the daughter. It's misspelled here. It's two ways. One way is Potiphar or something like that. I believe it's Potiphar's daughter. I'm not sure. I believe she's the mother of Joseph's children are Egyptian. Manasseh and Ephraim. He even told you why he named his one son Ephraim, because the Lord blessed him in the land of an affliction or something like that. So, they're Egyptian. They were born there, but they're half Israelite as well. And they're men. So you know they're going to take on, well, Joseph is going to ask his father to incorporate the half Egyptians into the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's a fact. So we can't excuse it. It's all right here, y'all. Anasath, I believe, is one of the Egyptians, the butler, the baker, Potiphar's daughter, somebody in Pharaoh's court, or someone he met in Egypt while he was living there. So Ephraim and Manasseh is half Egyptian. They were born there. Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah. Potipharah. What if Potiphar's name was Potipharah? In one place, Joseph is locked up in Potiphar's house. In another place, he's having children with Asenath, Potipharah's daughter. What if Potipharah and Potiphar is the same person? Nonetheless, it sounds Egyptian to me either way. So we're connected to Egypt in so many ways. Some of us the Israelite status. So now, so Potipharah, he's the priest of On, bear unto him. So he had two sons with Potipharah. It is Potiphe, Potipharah. Like, pull the way. Dee da 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 dee dee beat. Remember she was doing that crazy demonic chant. Potipharah, ra ra ra. No, I'm just playing. God have mercy on me this morning. But he was a priest of some sort. Had children with her daughter. His daughter, 21. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela and Becher and Ashbal, Gera, Naaman, Ehi, and Rosh. This is it, guys. Ready? Muppim and Huppim. Huppim. Listen, Huppim and Muppim. Muppim and Huppim. Muppim, Hup. Like Hup. Hup. Pim. Pip. And R. I said, well, Lord, are they twins? Anyway, 23. And the sons of Dan, only one, Hushin. But they're saying Shuham, Numbers 26:42. You can reference that. But Dan only has one child. Y'all figure that out, right? So now 24 says, and the sons of Naphtali, Jaziel, Gunai, Jazer, and Shilem. 25. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel, his daughter, and she bare these unto Jacob. And all the souls were 7. And all 26 says, and all the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, and all the souls were 66. This is 36. I mean 66, dummy. 20 times 3 is 60. 3 score is 1. I mean, 1 score equals 20. 3 score equals 60. Plus the 6 is 66. Ain't that the number of a man? So Jacob was really a man going into Egypt. He was fully established and thoroughly furnished unto God and unto being this great nation already, right? He was developing himself even before he got to Egypt, right? And sometimes, whether you end up in bondage or a new place or somewhere strange, a foreign land, prepare yourself. You may never think that you're going to end up somewhere, but I bet you if you prepare yourself before it happens, if and when and if it ever happens or not, you don't have to go searching and, you're just prepared. Preparation meets preparedness. I mean, preparation meets prosperity and promotion, and that's when you're prepared. I don't know. I just think you have more of a winning chance. So these are the sons. Now it goes on to say, 28. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. They didn't know where to go. Tell us, where is Goshen? Where is Goshen? Where is Goshen? Well, on my phone, let me tell you what they say about Goshen here, okay? Let me tell you what they say about Goshen here. Let me tell you what they say about Goshen. All right, so Goshen, Goshen, Goshen. The land of Goshen. Listen to this, y'all. So the land of Goshen, Hebrew, hello. Eretz Goshen is named in the Hebrew Bible, which they want to consider this allegedly the Hebrew Bible, translated out to Greek, presented to the world in swaddling clothes. Anyway, as the place in Egypt given to the Hebrews by the Pharaoh of Joseph, Book of Genesis 45:9 through 10, and we read that yesterday. And the land from which they later left Egypt at the time of the Exodus. So they were living in the land of Goshen, a little bit, on the outskirts, wherever it is. It is believed to be located in the eastern Nile Delta, Lower Egypt, perhaps at or near Avaris, the seat of power of the Hyksos kings, whatever they mean. I just wanted you to hear the meaning of it is cultivated. Okay? Oh, and baby, there was a lot of cultivation going on there. Before Moses killed that man, the Egyptian, there was a whole lot of cultivating going on there. So Egypt is very vital and crucial to the story of the Hebrew Israelites. Some of us stayed there and continued to worship the pharaohs and live amongst the Egyptians, and others exited out and went on following God. Pillar of cloud by day, pillar of fire by night. We didn't stay in Egypt worshiping Osiris and Seth. Abraham and one of them had a fight, and it's alleged in one of them other accounts, not in the Bible, that Abraham cut up one of their bodies, either Tammuz or one of them, and dispersed it throughout the land. Don't really know, guys. These are all legends, wives, fable tales, stories, and all that, right? So basically, it goes on to say Now, down around 29. 28. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face, to show him where to go, unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. 29. And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel his father to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. Now it just said Goshen was in the lower part, so Joseph may have been a little lower than him. I'm not sure in Egypt or where it really takes place, but I do know Joseph said he goes up to wherever that is from where he was to Goshen to see his father, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck and wept in his neck a good while he was there, the Bible says. Verse 30, and Israel said unto Joseph, now let me die. Joseph like, I'm ready now. I done lived life. I done saw my son after dang on 20, 30 years. I done lived that life. I raised my children. I'm not bearing no more. God has been good to me. Like so many other people, we speak this. Remember, the tongue produced life or death, right? And not too shortly after this, Joseph is going to succumb to his death. So he's just saying it in a sense. He lived a long time to run into his son again. And we've all been there before. God, what I would do, I would die just to see my son who's been missing since 2008, 18. You know what I'm saying? We say those things, right? And hopefully when you see them, you don't end up dying right after you see them. So let's see what happens here. So Joseph says, now let me die, in verse 30, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. I can't believe it. And there's a lot of cases. I just was watching one case not too long ago. It was a young girl who came up missing. I don't really remember her name offhand, but it's in my timeline and I can get it into a story on it. But she basically got lost in the system somehow. Something happened. She ended up growing up, getting married to this guy, having children, becoming his wife. And he started looking at moles and tattoos and scars and things on her that kind of matched the young 9 or 10-year-old girl that went missing years earlier. And it came to the media. They tried to, do DNA and all that stuff, but come to find out, they said it was not the girl, but, people were hoping, especially the mother, that she was still alive and that it was her. I mean, people hold on to that kind of faith as long as they're alive. And I think that's the kind of situation that causes a lot of people to die an early and premature death, is the loss of a loved one or someone taken soon, crazy, mysteriously. It's hard to accept for most people, but when you come up missing, it's like an abduction. It's like somebody violated you. It's like somebody did something to the missing person. And that stays with you all the time. That's what most people who have gone through it say. Like, I'm crushed. I can't believe this happened. A lot of news reports are saying, my daughter, I can't get her back. My son, my this, my that. The media isn't doing enough. We don't get enough coverage. XYZ. So I'm glad I'm glad Jacob got a chance to see his son again, because he didn't deserve for his sons to throw his younger son at that time. Probably I don't know if Benjamin was born yet or which order they go in. But the son by Rachel, because I'm going to keep saying he loved Rachel, in a pit and make this man suffer. His own children did this. But we don't want to talk about your own children doing it to you in church. I saw a young girl last night. God, her mama just kept giving her money, letting her steal her credit card, letting her steal that she had a boyfriend. They booked the mama and the daughter. book a flight to Bali. Y'all know this story. Comment below. 10,000 for the 2 flights apiece, 1,000 for the room. Next thing, they working on their relationship because it was very strained and toxic. And mom thinking, okay, I'll get you away from all that. Leave your boyfriend behind. You won't be able to steal from me. At least I got you here. You could work on you. At least you're not distracted by the drugs and the lifestyle her and her boyfriend was living at the time. Next thing the mother know, the boyfriend is in Bali. And the young teenager girl, she done booked the room for him, paid for his $12,000 flight. I think it may have cost him and the mother and the daughter, but I know it was over $10,000, and I believe his was $12,000 first class. He get to Bali, and somehow the mom end up dead, being dragged out of a room in a suitcase. Child. 31. And Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, my brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. Now, do you think Pharaoh want the Israelites in the land of Canaan, when in fact Ham has a son named Canaan? Ham have grandson named Put. Let me just go back to 10 real quick so I'm not speaking out of line. I know Canaan is somebody's grandson, somebody relative, for real, for real. And I don't know what it is with the land of Canaan, who it actually belonged to. But when God said, I'm going to give it to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all hell broke loose out of the land of Canaan. All kinds of war been started and fought. So Ham, the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. And generally, when there's lands and a person's name the same, they were kind of, I don't know, in possession of it, I guess. I'm not really sure. But it's something about the land of Canaan, the land flowing with milk and honey. I don't know. But God's people and other people have been fighting and warring over this. All right, so now, here we go. 32. And the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flock and their herds and all that they have. We got everything we need to take care of us. All we need is a piece of land. You invited us down here, and we can show you how to till the ground. My history shows that my great Adam didn't know how to till the ground and stay in the garden, but by the time we get to Jacob, we're pretty established in what we could do on the earth. We can go into another land such as Goshen with 60, 70 people total, repping the Israelites, and go on to be a great nation. God told Jacob, don't be afraid, in the very first chapter, verse 346 in the book of Genesis. When you go to Egypt, I'm going to be there with you, and I'm going to make you a great nation. What do you believe? So then now, basically 32, and the men of shepherds, they have their trade, they know what to do, they know how to feed, they know how to graze, they know how to take care of their women, they know how to govern themselves, they know how to take care of their children, they know how to govern themselves, they know how to worship God, they know how to govern themselves. Okay, America? 33, and it shall come to pass when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? It has been all about how much labor these people can produce, how creative they were with building up the land in the earth. And yes, Nimrod went on to build great things in the land. And so then these Israelites being in captivity for 430 years, you don't think the pharaohs of the kings of Egypt didn't have them building at least one pyramid? And that's another little battle or war or fight that goes on in the world of religion and who's right, who's wrong. Now, one pyramid. So, verse 34. Like, what's your occupation? Truthfully, just to obey God. Hell, you don't see. But they're good at pretty much everything, not just one thing. A lot of things. A lot of things. Skilled in a lot of trade. And I'm not talking trade you find on Skip the Games or Tinder or Grinder or OnlyFans. No. The hands, the mind, the work ethic. All of us, whether you want to call us Mexican, Black, Latinos, Jamaicans, the islands of the seas, South America, North America, Minor Asia, Australia. I don't care what the hell you want to call us at this point in time. We are the workers. Everybody want to know, what's your occupation? What's your work like? What's your work ethics like? What is your level of work? What can you produce? How do you produce it? Who helped you produce all of that? Where does it come from, baby? 34 says that you shall say, thy servant's trade hath been about cattle from our youth even unto now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Every shepherd? Now, Christians, your Jesus is the shepherd of the world, is the door of the sheep, right? At least I know the Messiah is. The Hebrew Messiah is this door, right? Hate it. It's an abomination unto the Egyptians. This is what the Bible says. So y'all go in history and Egyptians live up to it, Israelites live up to it. But it's saying, for every shepherd, anybody that grazed the cattle, the sheep, David took care of the sheep. Everybody is an abomination to the Egyptians. Okay, let's keep reading. Are you guys with me? Welcome to Egypt and the land of Goshen, okay? It's very crucial, very vital to us understanding history and why some of Noah's people will turn on some of other Noah's people in those days, BCE, and in these last days, as it is today. Certain things was taught to their people. The Egyptians can pass it down. Why couldn't we keep passing it down? Not that we want to be at war with anybody, but some things was just never meant to be. And some people always looked at what we did, such as grazing cattle, as an abomination and wickedness. But yet they learn of us, and then now they selling you the cattle and calling you cattle. Catch that on spirit. As we travel further into Egypt, chapter 47, verse 1. Let's read. Let's read, y'all. All right, so then Joseph came and told Pharaoh, he said, my father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. Now he's aware they there. Let's see if Pharaoh is still celebrating the fact that he wants Joseph's family so he can celebrate them and honor them and treat them with festivities. And let's see if that's... Remember, Jacob told you Once Laban told him what to go out in the field and get and how to split the cattle and this, that, and the third, and Jacob ended up with more than Laban. And Jacob labored for Laban for 7 years to get Rachel, but he gave him Leah. Then he got to work another 7 years to get Rachel and get her, and then another 6 years for cattle. And when he ended up with so much more than Laban, upon his 20-year departure of being afflicted by Laban, having his wages changed and all of that stuff, right? Don't you know Laban's heart, it says his countenance changed toward Jacob? Why wouldn't it? In the beginning, you thought you was big top dog. Whoa, 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 whoa. I got Isaac's son down here looking for my daughters. I'm about to milk him. I'm about to lie to him and tell him if he worked for me for 7 years, he can have my youngest daughter, Rachel. When 7 years come, pay up. You give out the wrong woman, and it says she was delicate to look upon, like, she wasn't eye candy. More like she hurt your eyes when you looked at Leah. Anyway, he like, no, and then I'm gonna make you work another 7 years for the one you want. Hey, baby, Jacob, God played a trick on Laban when he left there. Oh, yes, he did. Just like when we exodus out of Egypt eventually after 430 some odd years coming down the pipeline, right? God said, go borrow vessels, go get this, go make cakes, go cut the first calf, put the blood on the door, do everything. The spirit of death coming over, the Passover, this is what it represents. I am going to take Pharaoh's first son. If the blood ain't on your doorpost, baby, guess what? I don't have mercy here. Don't ask for no favor. Ain't no grace. God spoke, and this is what's going down. And when these people got ready to leave Egypt after 430 years, you're damn right they should be millionaires in the great nation after all their sufferation. This is what I'm trying to tell the people in America. After 400, 500 years of persecution and affliction, when will we ever be this great nation? That was prophesied to Jacob over here in Genesis chapter 46. Wickedness seated in high places in America is not going to let you be, because they're the Edomites who work with some of the Egyptians, some of Lot's people, some of Esau's people, some of the Moabites. Go read Psalms 83. These people exist then and today. We all are descendants of somebody in this damn world. But unfortunately, the Israelis will lie and tell you they're of this book here. And clearly, in order for them to tell you they're the people of the book, they had to excommunicate or cause the real people to be hidden and are lost somewhere in this world. Strip them of their language, strip them of the Bible, but everything you go to is based on Hebrew when it comes to this stuff. Even the land of Goshen, I just read to you, in the Hebrew. Why? Because everything was Hebrew first. So, before Christianity and the Greeks got their hands on the Bible, for the 12 tribes of Israel, Hebrew, Paul even said he had a vision from a Hebrew God. Where is that Hebrew God at right now? Where is the Hebrew language, the Hebrew kingdom of heaven, the Hebrew God, the Hebrew tongue, where is it? In order for one to exist, such as Christianity, the other had to go away and be done with. Non-existent. Talked about, in remembrance of, made comparison to. You see a lot of the old covenant kingdom of heaven talked about in Christianity. You see the blessing of Jacob, you see the blessing of Isaac, you see the blessing of Abraham over there, but you don't really see the circumcision and the law of God And that's another problem in the world today. We allow Christianity to get away with that. Anybody confessing to be the Israelites, you're not supposed to be in Christianity doing away with the law of God, because once you do away with the law and the circumcision, you do away with Abraham, his blessing, God, and anything else that come down along the lines with the law thereof. So we're in Goshen. Finally, that was a long flight, right? Pharaoh know we here now. Let's see how it unfolds, y'all. 2. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. 3. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. And you don't think Pharaoh researched this before they got there? What great king wouldn't? What great leader wouldn't, right? Or already know? That's why he's saying anybody a shepherd is an abomination. Like, you in my land now, I could tell you I really don't like you. I could tell you I really don't like you. So, 4 says, they said moreover unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servant have no pasture for their flocks, for thy famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. Already bound down to Pharaoh, saying, let thy servants. We present ourselves as servants. And a lot of black people have that servitude attitude. I don't know what it is, but don't get it confused with a nature and loving, caring spirit. And it's just master. I'll do it, master. Oh, no problem. Knowing damn well you don't want to do it. Knowing it's against your gut. I got it. Not a problem. So, 5. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brother are come unto thee. 6. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell in the land of Goshen. Let them, so it's something about Goshen. Let them dwell. And if thou knowest any men of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. So, of course, it's an abomination unto the Egyptians for the herdsmen, right, or the shepherds. But I want you to assign them to my flock. Whatever the hell is going on with your flock, don't think we ain't been hearing about it, because as time goes on, they hear about the King Solomon's, they hear about David. So you know they were hearing about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob at this particular time, right? You know they're hearing about them. People know, but will act stupid and play dumb to make you think they don't. I'm sure we've all been in a situation like that at some point in time. All right, so we are here. Joseph brought Jacob his father. Hold on, let me make sure I read all of 47 on that page. Yep, let them dwell and put them over my cattle. Put them over my stuff. 7 says, and Joseph brought in Jacob his father and set him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Jacob did what? And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, right? And Jacob blessed. Hold on, yeah, I'm trying to turn the fan around. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, right? All right, that feel a little better. It was backwards. Yo, and I tell you, it was cold in here yesterday. Ugh. All right, so now Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And 8 says, and Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? 9, and Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. Now, we're just pilgriming. We're just in this land sojourning. He didn't say pilgrim from Israel to Egypt. He said overall 130 years. And remember, they originally came from the land of Chaldees, the land of Ur, the Canaan. They've been through some places, okay? So he's talking overall 130 years. So now 10, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. 11, and Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them a possession of the land of Egypt and the best of the land in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. So Ramesses is probably not only a person at this time, because I do believe Pharaoh at this particular time going into Moses, there was a nephew, a son, a cousin, somebody named Ramesses Moses, I believe, grew up with, or was Ramesses the Pharaoh at that time? I'm not really sure, but I know there's a Ramesses in that movie, The Prince of Egypt, for reference. So, 12, and Joseph nourished his father. Oh, yeah. 12, and Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their families. Okay. 13, and there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. 14, and Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. 15, and when money failed in the land of Egypt, in the land of Canaan, all of the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. 16, and Joseph said, give us your cattle, and I will give you your cattle if money fail. Give us your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. Okay. 17, and they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses and for flocks and for the cattle of the herds. Now, is bread equivalent to cattle? Horses, I know, are used to go into, plow, all that stuff, ride. But sheep, cattle, you can make them mate and have babies and reproduce. You can get meat out of them. I mean, they're to till the ground, plow, whatever. And bread you eat and then it's gone. Unless you the woman of Saraphet, remember that Saraphet woman? The meal of oil and the cruise that kept on going and going and going because she wasn't selfish and fed the man of God first, knowing her and her son was going to die. So Joseph gathers all the money, all the flock. He trades things for cattle of herds for the asses. He fed with them bread all their cattle for that year. 18, and that year was ended, and they came unto him the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent, my Lord. Also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our lands. We only got our lands and we only got our bodies. Does that sound familiar? Keep the body strong, weaken the mind, and steal all the land up over here in America? The house of bondage is not too much difference. But listen, it goes on to say, verse 19, wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our lands? Buy us our land for bread, and we for our land. Now, I guess you could take bread or flour and sell it. I'm just trying to see how you make it multiply to sustain. But it goes on to say, buy us and our land for bread. Buy us and our land, baby. Did you catch that on spirit? Buy us. The act of selling people for trade, for product, for merch, for substance, for work. Because that's what's going to happen in the end. Once I buy you, Joseph, or whoever else going to do the buying, you got to go to work and make sure we don't run out of bread, and make sure you cattle shepherd these cattle and things so we can keep the money coming in. You got to till the ground, okay? So, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate, okay? 20, and Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. Simple as that. As simple as that. People offering themselves through poverty, through famine, is how most people end up with the land they have and own and possess in the land today. And I tell you, a lot of these famines didn't really and always come from God. Pharaoh and people in control know how to make a famine, know how to pollute the oceans, know how to spoil the barley and the wheat. And I'm just saying. All right, so it said, buy us and our land for bread. Some people sold out for bread, y'all. 20, and Joseph bought all the land of Egypt, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. Same way it went down over here in America. Cause of famine. Hell, we was growing turkey, corn. We was eating good before they landed on Plymouth Rock, damn it. Oh, God have mercy today. But everything became Pharaoh's. Everything became the European white man's over here in America. Who somehow, if there ever was allegedly and said to be believed a transatlantic slave trade going on, this is why. And these are most of the people that was involved with it. We got to get these people out of here eventually. Remember, God hardens Pharaoh's heart not to let the people go, first of all. And then when he does say, all right, let my people go, Pharaoh say, oh, hell no, went chasing after us eventually in the story. 21 says, and as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt, even to the other end thereof. Same thing. 22. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priest had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them. Wherefore they sold not their lands. And the same thing with the Levites. No matter where the Levites went, they had a portion of the land. They had a specific different, unique blessing from God. And still do to today, but some of Haiti rather be over there holding people for hostage and $17 million than realizing they are the Levites of the world. And God says, anywhere you go, people are supposed to uphold you because you're the high priest. And what Bill Clinton and whoever else do and did and will do, excuse me, when they realize you are of this Bible, they destroy your land. Don't they, Haiti and Dominican Republic? Excuse me. They destroy your land. And also the Bible says, y'all brothers, one of y'all gonna be, both of y'all are based in struggling and deal with poverty. But one is gonna do better than the other. And both of y'all deal with witchcraft. Go figure. Now, if that's not a specific place and time for who these people are, or identifier as to who these people are of the Bible, I don't know what is. So now, Pharaoh got everything, just like the American president over here controls all the land, right? People have sold their souls, sold their land, sold their children, sold their cattle, sheep, substance, jobs, everything, just in themselves exist in the midst of a famine. Like now, we have a famine in the land now, and what are people doing? So, 23, then Joseph said unto the people, behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land. So you got an Israelite, second in command to an Egyptian Pharaoh, Egyptians and probably other people coming to Joseph saying, buy us in our land so we could eat. 24, and it shall come to pass in the increase that ye shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for seed of the field and your food, and for them of your household, and for food for your little ones. So he's like, we ain't gonna do you so dirty, but whatever this increase is, and you start making money, you still gotta pay us some. I don't know. 25, and they said, thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servant. And that's the same mentality they put on the Americans over here. Yes, master. Just don't kill me, master. Just let me eat something, master. I don't care if it's the pig intestine, master. He like, well, because black people always suggesting the wickedest thing. Remember, Joseph's brother Judah said, I present myself as a slave to you, Joseph. Let my little brother go. They got that same servitude. Yeah, I'll do it. Long as I get to eat, long as I get to pay my bill, long as I get to work. It says here, and we will be Pharaoh's servants, and you will be Biden's servants. I told y'all, when you go out there and vote for that man last election, what the hell was going to happen? Don't nobody want to listen to me, though. And I'm not back talking, back pee-popping and pedal. I'm not doing all that. I'm moving forward on this channel. I told you what's going to happen. God said, if your king, if Saul, if Biden, if Trump, if Obama, if all 50 under 35, 40 other ones that don't do what I say do, I'm going to consume you. And America is a consumed place, and most people in America is consumed as well. Y'all let these people play with you with this Bible if you want to. Pharaoh's servants. And when Jacob didn't want to be Pharaoh's servant no more, what the hell you think happened? When Jacob got down in the land of Goshen and started mixing with Pharaoh and didn't want to serve God no more, what you think happened? Not all of Jacob, but you can't tell me They mixing and mingling, having kids, and they ain't taking on customs and loving the pharaohs you can't tell me, because when Nebuchadnezzar have them in captivity for 70 years, some of them Israelites didn't want to leave Nebuchadnezzar when they had the opportunity to leave. They chose to stay. Because by then, it's embedded in them. If people come along right now and tell all the descendants of the Israelites, come on, you going back to Israel, they're like, the hell with that dude. It's going to be another transatlantic, round them up, get their ass up out of here kind of situation. They ain't going to want to go back to the land they came from because they're so used to the land that was given to them or that they was brought to. And not necessarily led by God, but by deception, by greed, by hatred for who these people are and the relationship they had with God when God told Jacob, not Charlemagne the God, the first emperor of Rome, not Titus and Tiberius, not Constantine, not Pharaoh, Ramesses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not King Tut, not Sheba, not none of it. He told Jacob, I'm going to make you a great nation in Egypt. God is in the business of taking his people, only other than America, in a land they're not familiar with, have to go to because of a famine, slavery, captivity, whatever, and they excel more so than their than their captors or those that put them in captivity. Only here in America, we keep letting the devices of the enemy set us back thousands and thousands of years. That's why you're celebrating Martin Luther King today. He is one of the great known black people that helped advance not only civil rights, but white supremacy at the same time. He did a poll on you. I'm not really evil and wicked, allegedly, and I don't really have a close friendship with Satan, but at the same time, I'm a godly man. It's of God. I have a vision. I have a dream. And next thing you know, he on his deathbed talking about, I did y'all wrong. That's why he's being celebrated. There's other black people that did stuff for black people and didn't side with white supremacy or didn't betray their people that we don't get to have a holiday for. We don't get to celebrate yearly. Hell, it's enough black people in this world that did some things on behalf of black people. It would take up the whole Gregorian calendar, 365 days of the year. I can mention a black person starting with you and me that has done something for America without selling out all the masses thereof. For my fame, greed, and desire, for my name to be ringing in the land, for people to call me Dr. Anything. Trying to tell y'all, I woke up this morning and said, God, why do we just celebrate Martin Luther King? Why did the enemy of the calendar and the time and all that, we talking AD now, it gets a little, BC, we know pretty much AD, it gets a little sketchy with these people in time, okay? That's why they set it forward, set it back, do what they can to confuse you, but we know the difference, right? Why is Martin Luther King? I know some people greater than Martin Luther King who stood for black people and stood against white supremacy, oppression, the devil, the slavery, and all that. Whoa. And look at it. You never see him really helping out white supremacy. But when J. Edgar Hoover come through and said, well, you know, another Messiah ain't going to rise, and that damn Martin Luther King, he could have been a contendant, but he's that white liberalist kind of person. Like, he's down with the white people. Allegedly, he said, I sold my people to the burning house, sold their souls to hell. Deception. But now, y'all Pharaoh's servants 26 says, and Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that Pharaoh should have the fifth part, except the land of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh's. Remember, prior to, they went and bought up all the corn, the bread. They was harvesting and reaping, and while everybody else was just taking it for granted, right? Pharaoh and Joseph knew what they were doing. Joseph said, hell, if I'm down here, I'm going to make sure we good. And not knowing, but he told his brother Judah yesterday that God led me here so I could preserve y'all life. We know why Joseph really ended up in Egypt. But for the purposes of this story, he like, I'm the second in command. Hell, if it's a famine and I live here in Egypt, I'm going to make sure Egypt all right. Not knowing that the whole surrounding parts of it as well have to come to Egypt to get fed. So now, anytime y'all make money in the land, y'all got to give a fifth of it. So now they watching people pockets. People are now tithing into the Pharaoh because they sold themselves. He said, buy us and our land and our cattle. And in doing so, we'll work for you. We'll pay it off somehow. We'll take out a loan on our life. They want a fifth of it. Prior to you giving us a fifth of it, we own the land. We own the cattle. We'll let you stay as it is. You know, we took a little bit and we feel this is enough for you to keep bringing in a fifth of that money. And that's how some black people who act like white people and think they're not black or don't want to talk about any of this is where they are today. Making deals with the devil along the way to sell out other black people. And y'all say black people can't be racist. If black people are working with themselves or white people to keep other people down, especially on social media or anywhere else in life at this point in time, that is racist. Look at what the word racist means. Any color of people can be racist. Do you not read other reports around the world how other governments, how the king of Dubai, like, was treating his kids and stuff? Racist. They don't want nobody else to develop, get bigger than them, grow, have a voice of their own, think for themselves. Some of your parents, your spouses, have been racist towards you. Look at the words. Stop thinking it's only white people or entities thereof of wickedness seated in high places that's being racist towards you. A black woman on the job that plays with a promotion over your head is racist. You never had racism happen to you like that. So anyway, everything belongs to Pharaoh, a fifth of it. 27, and Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. Do they have to give a fifth of it? Were they a part of this decree that went out? They came with their own substance. Let's talk about it. So what do you think is going to happen? They were invited there. They don't own any of the land. But this Bible says in 27, they grew and they multiplied exceedingly. We don't need no help from anybody to build and or rebuild anything that was destroyed in our lives or that needs to be built or builded or built. 28. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. A little longer than that 120 that God promised over there in Genesis 6 because of the wickedness in the flesh, right? No more 960, 50 years like Noah. No more 1,000 years like Jared and Enoch and all. No, 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 no. But he lived a little longer than that, right? So it goes on to say 29. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die. No escaping it, guys. The great thing is to live 140 some odd years and then go. Hell, at that point in time, you should be ready to go. But as a teenager, being abducted, raped, killed, shot, as an older woman, there was a story where this couple kidnapped the older man or elder person, and it's just crazy. Freak accidents and just the prince of the air destroying people out there wickedly. Children of disobedience, according to Ephesians 2:2, just killing, stealing, and destroying anything and anybody they can. And people are no longer living the expected life. Some people has gotten it down to 65 years for a black man, and that's half of what Jacob is living right here. And they know we're created in the image of God, but they don't want to see us outlive them like this. So they introduce stuff to our community to shorten the lifespan and the expectancy thereof. They get you to turn away from God because it's God who kept Jacob for 147 damn years. So 29 says, "In the time drew nigh that Israel must die. And he called his son Joseph and said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me." What the hell? We've been hearing that, the hand under the thigh. And I am a person, I will sit with my hands under my thigh. I don't know why, but I've been doing that for years. Anybody else, put it down in the comments and let me know. But it's something with this. We read it several times with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, up to now. Put your hands under my thigh and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt. Don't bury me in Egypt. So he's begging, this is not my land. This is not my country. I want to go where my fathers are. I want to go. Don't let me die in Egypt, please. Don't bury me. 31, and he said, Swear unto me. And he sware unto him. And Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head. He went into the bed, resting on the frame. Chapter 48, verse 1, let's read. And it came to pass after these things that one told Joseph, Behold, thy father is sick. And he took him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And this is where Joseph said, Look, Dad, paraphrasing, allegedly, summarizing, I lived a good life. I myself may die here in Egypt. This is all I know in my adult life. Pharaoh's been good to me. I've amassed a lot here. I've accomplished a lot here. I've done the damn thing. You know how it go, Dad. And I even had two sons. And what I would like for you to do, Dad, because at this point, I do believe Dan is somewhere around, but shortly thereafter, Dan gets kicked out of the tribe of Israel. He wants to be the Levites. He wants to be the high priest. He wants to go against God. He wants to make his own rules. Sounds like the American government and the rulers thereof of the time that wanted a church in the land instead of the temple. They wanted Christians instead of the children of Israel. They wanted their doctrine instead of the Hebrew doctrine that already exists, right? So there was a lot of going back and forth. And He's going to go to Joseph. Joseph's going to go to Jacob and say, look, take me out of the Israelites. I'm good. I mean, my story going to go down in history regardless. But Ephraim and Manasseh, said to be Cuba and Puerto Rico, I believe. I do believe. Remember, this Bible said the children of Israel went to the islands of the sea and the Americas. So we're not leaving no stone unturned here when it comes to looking out in the world, seeing who's who and why. According to this Bible, because that's what this channel do over here. And we do pretty good with it. So now Manasseh and Ephraim, he's mentioning them to Joseph. 2, and behold, and one told Jacob and said, behold, thy son Joseph cometh unto thee. And Israel strengthened himself and sat upon the bed, like got himself together, mustered up enough energy to face Joseph, right? So 3, and Jacob said unto Joseph, God Almighty appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me. He like, look, I had it out with an angel one night, baby. Oh, I slept somewhere at first, and angels going to and fro. I called that place Bethel. And then, honey, and this is probably why we sit under our thigh when it comes to Jacob, our hands. Because remember when he was wrestling with the angel of the Lord, they bruised his groin, and he probably sitting there trying to keep his pelvic floor area even, right? I don't know. But his son was sitting there, hand under the thigh. But anyway, he's like, the Lord blessed me that night. And then when I was coming down here to Egypt, he told me he'll be with me and not to be afraid and that I'm going to be a great nation. All right, so listen, let's see how the conversation go. So 4, and said unto me, behold, I will make thee fruitful and multiply thee, and I will make thee a multitude of people, and will give this land to thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. And who's in possession of it today? 5, and now thy 2 sons. See, the Bible can't say in some places unto this day and make you think it's unto today. And don't do it in other places that really matter, right? Everlasting possession should have unto this day, right? But it don't, because some people know they have the opportunity to come in and make it not so. 5, and now thy 2 sons Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt, before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. And you know, Reuben slept with Bilhah, one of his handmaids, or one of Leah's or one of Rachel's handmaids. Anyway, he had children by Bilhah. This is Jacob, and Reuben slept with her, and I believe had children by her. But just as my first 2 born are mine, so will yours. 6, and thy issue which thou begettest after them shall be mine, and shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance. They won't be referred to as Egyptians, even though they was born here. And that right there might piss people off, Egyptians or Israelites. Like, what? Hell, we was born here, but no, not all people are the 12 tribes that come from Shem. It branches off. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There's other family members, but it's just them 3. So, they're going to get the inheritance. 7, and as for me, when I came from Pandan, Aram, right? Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan in the way when yet, that's Joseph's mother, Rachel, when yet there was but a little way to come unto Ephrath, and I buried her there in the way of Ephrath, the same as Bethlehem, and that's probably where he wants to go. 8. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons and said, Who are these? 9. And Joseph said unto his father, They are my sons, whom God hath given me in this place. And he said, Bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. And this is where Ephraim and Manasseh are inducted in. Alright, so 10 says, Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. 11. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God hath showed me also thy seed. At that time, Joseph only had 2, so it's good that his father got to see his seed. Now, it doesn't mention if he meets the mother of them and all of that, but in the day of the Hebrew Israelite custom, it was the male child that got paid most attention for the most part, but Jacob is very, very glad to have met Joseph's seed even. And this is the kind of conversation in the way most of us should be going. Death is a must. It's certain. Whether it comes freakishly, too soon, mysteriously, unaccepted, unwanted, unwarranted, unsolicited. I mean, it too early. Then it's something different. But when Jacob know his eyes are dim, death is setting in. I got to see my son. I got to see my grandsons. It's truly a blessing. So I encourage people, move toward that kind of restoration. If it's broken, I mean, a lot of people pass without saying what they want to say to people, or even saying I love you or I'm sorry. So it's a really nice scene right here. If this was a movie. Now, listen. It goes on to say, 12. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. 13. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand, towards Israel left hand, and Manasseh toward Israel right hand, and brought them near unto him. Now, some stories say that he crossed his hands or did something like that and went to bless the wrong one. I don't know with the right hand, that's who to bless. I don't know how it worked when you bless 2 at a time, but there's going to be something where Joseph switched the boys or something. 14 says, And Israel stretched out his hands and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. So he wants Manasseh to get that blessing. 15. And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom my father Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God which fed me all my life long unto this day, the God that fed me all my life unto this day. Grab hold of it. Unto this day. Has not God fed you all your life? Whose hand you been eating out of? Unto this day. So, and he blessed Joseph and said, God, in 15, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God which fed me all the days of my life unto this day. 16, the angel which redeemed me from all evil. Bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, and let them bury Jacob's name. And let them bear Jacob's name, and let them wear Jacob's name, and let them have my surname, my coat of arms, my whatever it is. Let it be of Jacob. That is Hebrew Israelite. the father of the 12 brothers. Which in some way is pretty freaking cool, y'all. Um, so he eschewed evil. He blesses the land. Let my name be named upon them. In the name of my fathers, Isaac and Jacob, I mean Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And they absolutely went on to grow. They may be small islands, but Puerto Ricans and think they said Cuba, or I don't know who the heck. Is it Cuba? Is it Mexico? Ephraim and Manasseh. Either way, they got big personalities. They're little but big. You know what I'm saying? Their influence is becoming so much that the American government is trying to ostracize black people's opinions and priority for the most part. And everything says, are you Latino? Are you Hispanic? When it comes to politics, not that it shouldn't be voices heard of all ethnicities that live in America. Hell, we've been listening to European white old men for 500 some odd years. We need a change. But that servitude attitude, that's not just with the black people here in America, but with the Puerto Ricans. With Haiti was the only one that put up the resistance to the high priest and took a stance against oppression and white slavery. And it came back to backfire on them. I mean, for whatever reason, we fight our way out of the trenches of the enemy's claws and tail. They find a way to seduce us right back in it. So yeah, they're going to multiply in the earth. 17, and when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. I told y'all it was something with that because he wanted Manasseh, the firstborn, to get that special blessing, because both of them are being blessed. To even be a part of the Israelite brothers when technically your father is the original cast of the Temptations. I meant to say the Israelites. So yeah. All right. So Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim. It displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. Are you listening? So, thank you for the thumbs up, and God bless you. I appreciate y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got about 4 more verses to go. Yep, and we'll be done with episode 328, y'all. We are deep down in Egypt now. Joseph is passing out the blessing, and he blessed Pharaoh. So, some of that wealth that Pharaoh may have amassed is due to the blessing of Jacob. And generally, when you bless somebody, you say, may God bless you, or you speak a special prayer over them, or you lay hands on them in some way or fashion. I'm not really sure, but there's plenty of ways to bless people, right? You don't got to do it just like the church when it comes to money. And now you're poor, they're rich, you have a famine, and they ain't trying to do like Pharaoh and even let you live on the lands and pay a fifth of it. They want all or nothing. Because their love of money became something real wicked and evil. That is the church. That is the Vatican. Yes, became very, very wicked and evil, right? At least Pharaoh, hell, I'm going to buy you, I'm going to buy your land, your cattle. Y'all can live here, y'all can eat, but anything you make, I want a fifth of it coming off of this land. I want a fifth of it coming off of this house. I want a fifth of it coming off of you doing hair. I want a fifth of it coming off of you babysitting on this land. I want a fifth of it off of the cattle you sell and the meat you produce. I want a fifth of everything. American government, they took it all and the nothing, okay? And left you with nothing. Or I should say they took it all and left you with nothing, right? So it goes on to say, he put his right hand over there on Manasseh 19, and his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he. So Ephraim is greater than Manasseh. And most people say Puerto Ricans are greater than the Mexicans or the Cubans, depending on which one Manasseh is, because we know Ephraim is the greater, and I do believe Ephraim is Puerto Rico for the most part, because we all didn't settle, but the majority of the 12 tribes you can find and identify them in America, Americas, North and South, and some of Alaska, Canada, and the islands of the sea. That makes everything else. And of course, you can find us on Africa still, because they didn't take us all from there. You can even find some in Europe today. Let's just keep it real. But at that particular time, when things were scattering abroad, for the most part, they said this is where we would be. So now he goes on to saying, his father refused and says, I know, he shall also become a people, and he shall also be great. But truly his younger brother shall be the greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. This is Ephraim. A lot of Latino dialects, right? Dominican Republic, Cuba, Mexico. It's just a lot of branches of different kind of spoken. I don't know. There might be some many nations over there they're not aware of. All I know is they don't have to come over here in America for the most part and cause contention with the blacks and the American government just to have a voice and be in power and position. We've all been through enough at this day. We need to be teaming up together against those that bring this kind of discord amongst the brethren. Remember, God says he hates anyone who sows a discord amongst the brethren. So be careful when you let the American government use you as a pawn in their outdated, overrated, unwanted game of this alleged chess they're playing with people's lives. I don't know. Verse, they're multitudes. These Ephraims, they're many nations, honey. They're going to be a great nation. 20. And he blessed them that day, saying, in thee shall Israel bless, saying, God make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh. Just like he set Jacob before damn Esau, and y'all have a problem with it. Y'all got a problem with everything God do. If God want Ephraim before Manasseh, whether here the oldest or the youngest, let it be so. Ephraim, will you please take your rightful place? Esau, will you please let Jacob rule? Finally, in these last 2,000 damn years, will you let us take our rightful place? Please. These are the people that don't want to obey God because they would have to do it God's way. And Manasseh said, the hell with that. Once these colonizers started going around, the brothers started making deals. The brothers started selling other people out. The brothers started, hell, long as I ain't got to be a Christian, I'll help you. And here we are today. The most influenced by Christianity when the rest of the world could say no to it, right? Because the rest of the world weren't so much in the kingdom of heaven. And if they were, these are the ones that sold God's people out for the most part. And if they didn't, they just refused to be a Christian. When Constantine started going around the world setting his decree and declaring his Jesus as God, rose from the dead in the flesh. People was just simply like, we're not buying that shit. I'd rather serve Buddha. Nope, our God named Buddha. Nope, they hiding in caves. They going to the far east and south, and are they getting the hell away from Israel and Africa at this time? Like you again, the man said in that video I watched, we had everything. The European come in with the Bible and white Jesus, leave us with that doctrine and take all the real valuable resources with them, and all the writings on the wall and all the things that manifested back to God in some way for the Egyptians and for the Israelites. They left more of the Egyptians there than ours. A lot of our history been erased. Why? If Egypt could have a history and they're in the Bible with the Israelites, why can't we have a history without it being distorted and told, mixed with Christianity and all these other things that have nothing to do with Egypt and Israel at this time? This is between Jacob and Pharaoh. What's going on? This is between Joseph and his 12 brothers who came down into the land of Goshen in Egypt at the request of Pharaoh at this time. So his father said, yo, don't be telling me which one to bless right now. I know which one to bless. I know who is the firstborn, but I also know who God is asking me to give the you know how the queen said coronation, the ordination to. You are ordained this day, okay? Ephraim. So 20 says, and he pleased them that day, saying, in thee shall Israel bless, saying, God make thee as Ephraim and Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh. 21. And Israel said unto Joseph, behold, I die. But God shall be with you and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. 22. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of my hand of the Amorites. With my sword and with my bow. So Jacob trying to tell you I was out here fighting, okay? And that ends the morning read. We're going to go ahead and let it be. I have to come back and do 49 and 50 real shortly after this, guys. I'm going to just bust it out. It's a couple of verses, and we're done with the book of Genesis. We have to do 49, which is 33 verses, and 50, which is 26 verses, and we will be done. This read is due for today, so sometime today I will pop it up real quick. Yeah, so you guys let me know what you think about our trip to Egypt. Nothing too bad so far, right? Smooth welcome. We learned a lot. We definitely learned a lot. Let me know down in the comments below what you. I'm just taking it all in because there's some things, like I said, in my own personal research and journey and questions that I have, because Christianity tell you don't question anything. But these are the things that need to be questioned. These are the right questions to be asked, and these are the right questions to be answering. How is it that a Hebrew Israelite tending to sheep and cattle most of his life end up becoming a great nation amongst the pharaohs in Egypt? When it's an abomination for Egypt and Israelites to even be in the same room with each other. Anybody care to answer? Please let me know down below. You're watching Religion Link TV, and my spiritual ears stay. Shalom, everybody. God bless you and have a great day. So that's a question for the century, right? All right. So I will see you in an hour or two with episode 329 with chapter 49 and 50, ending Genesis, the beginning, bringing us into the Exodus. In the book of Exodus, leading our escape out of the hands of the enemy, being delivered back unto God. Is it making sense, people? Shalom, everybody. God bless you and have a great day. Is it making sense, people? With that being said, take care, everybody. I'll see you on the next live upload in the premiere. Don't take these teachings for granted. We are learning some things. And how did you like going to Egypt today? Do you like the fact? Not yet. Do you like the fact that we travel? We're just not one place. Our teachings are more than one dimensional. And we actually place ourselves where the action is actually going down. And once we place ourselves there, we bring it back to reality, right? And apply it to what's going on today. So if you like this kind of teaching of the Bible, by all means, subscribe to my channel if you're new here. And if you're not new here and you're returning, please subscribe to my channel because I get a lot of views from people who are not subscribed. It don't cost you nothing but a click of the wrist, a finger. How hard is that? And a share, and a like, and a thumbs up. So I guess it takes a little work to follow and support people on YouTube, okay? But no more than what your ancestors are, if you're the descendants thereof, is going to have to endure in Egypt once we get into the book of Exodus for the next 430 years. Kind of similar to being in America for the same amount of time, give or take here or there, experiencing the same thing. So whoever gave you "There's nothing new under the sun" may have wrote this book for you to always refer back to it and say, well, there's nothing new under the sun. There was slavery in the Bible, so there's going to be slavery in America. There was wickedness going on in the temple of God. We was reading in the New Testament and other places, right? And so when it go down in the church, there's nothing new under the sun. And everything it's of God, it's of God, it's of God. God allows it, right? Whether it's good or bad. But all we ever know is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Job, and everybody, even David, know that they were supposed to eschew evil. And now evil comes in all forms of wickedness, all forms of unrighteousness, all forms of traps and devices and things used against you, right? So that's it. That's all I got for you today. That's it. That's all. I will see you guys in episode 329. Can somebody tell me in the comments if we have to go to 365, how many we actually have left? We'll do it from here. This is episode 328. Let me know down in the comments if you've been keeping track or if you're down with the countdown. I said I was going to wait till I get to like episode 30. But I've been counting down since like episode 40. Oh, we got 39 left. Oh, we got 38 left. Oh, we got 37 left, right? In episode 328. And 329, we'll have 36, I believe. And then 330, we'll have 35. And you can keep track like that, okay? So Don't forget to be encouraging and not discouraging, okay? And with that being said, I gotta go now, y'all. Shalom, God bless you, and have a great day.